of the best ways to make all of this happen is that it needs to be systemized, right? So we talk about a lot of systems and a lot of the things that we cover. And having a daily review and looking at a dashboard every single day and getting together as a team needs to be a system in your business. It needs to become part of the culture, right? So what I like to do is I like to block that time off of my calendar. What is going on, guys? My name is William Fletcher, and welcome to the Leveled Up Contractor Show, the #1 show for contractors that want to level up their business with systems, numbers, and tools. And for more, you can visit us over at leveledupcontractor.com. And today's episode, guys, is brought to you by the CEO Dashboard. And you can get access to that, again, by heading over to leveledupcontractor.com. Just head over to our main page there, and you'll find it from there. And this episode is really going to tie right into that, because in today's episode, we're going to be covering the plain and simple formula for running your business by the numbers. And guys, this is a big one for me. And it's exactly why I created the CEO dashboard and the whole training around that. It's really a whole system for kind of doing what we'll be talking about in this episode, and it has all the templates and tools that go with it. But guys, this is such a big topic for me. For one, I absolutely love numbers. I love spreadsheets. I love all that kind of stuff. And, running a business by the numbers has kind of changed the game for me. And a lot of people I've worked with, there's so many reasons why it's such a good way to run a business. So let's really just start right there. So one of the first things I love about it, guys, is it takes the emotion and the gut feelings out of running the day-to-day business, right? So I know a lot of you guys, this is a tough one for you. You know, as an owner, you're passionate about what you do. You have ties to people that work for you. You got people that's worked for you since you started the company, or maybe you have family in the company, right? And all these relationships that you're trying to manage. And sometimes that can really get in the way of running the business, or you got big goals and things you're trying to accomplish. And, sometimes, you just get caught up and you're running things off of emotion, or, making gut feeling calls. And it doesn't have to be that way, guys. And that's one of the things I love about, running a business by the numbers, is because at that point, you're not going off of gut feelings or how you're feeling at that particular moment. You start running the business off of real data, and you're making real-time decisions on real information that you have, so that way you can take the business to the next level. And one of the other things I absolutely love about it is, guys, you have the ability to make faster decisions, right? It can be easy to get caught up in the day-to-day of doing things and, trying to, figure things out. And then you're looking up more information and you're just kind of all over the place. And instead, you can really be focusing on moving things forward, because you have the data there in front of you to make decisions in real time. And you're able to strategize and kind of pivot quickly because you have the information there in front of you. Another thing that I absolutely love about running the business by the numbers, guys, is business starts to become a math equation, right? And what you might be saying, William, what the heck do you mean by that? Well, at the end of the day, you have goals, right? You have things that you want to accomplish in your business. Maybe at the beginning of the year, you build a budget and you said, hey, I want to do this much in revenue. I want to make this much profit. And you kind of worked around building this entire budget of what you wanted to do for the year. And some of you that are more advanced, that's done this for a long time, you probably have a 3-year, a 5-year, and possibly even a 10-year goal that you're working towards, right? And when you start running things by the numbers, guys, you're able to work that backwards. You know that if you want to make a certain amount in profit, you got to make a certain amount in sales, because your overhead expenses, your cost of goods sold, your job costs, all that kind of stuff. So when you start working things by the numbers, you really start to be able to work your dreams and your goals and all that stuff backwards. That way you can stay on target for your goals and hit those visions that you're after. And guys, one of the last things before we actually dive into the system that I want to talk about is your results won't be a surprise, right? So many of you are working so hard to do what you do, and at the end of the month, you open up that P&L report or you look at your bank account, and it's just not quite what you expected it to be, right? Maybe it's a negative number down there at the bottom on the profit and loss statement, or man, you've been working so hard, making so many sales, yet when you look in the bank account, there's nothing there. Well, when you start running your business by the number, guys, you can start making decisions on the fly during the day. Each day, you're strategizing, you're pivoting, and you're making things happen that are going to keep you on target for your goals. That way, when you get to the end of the month, it's not a big surprise. You know where you're at because you're looking at the data daily. You know what's going on in your business, and you're constantly pivoting and changing to make sure you're hitting goals. So let's actually get in to the system. And guys, when I give this to you, you're going to look at this and you're going to think, man, William, this is pretty simple stuff. And guys, the truth of it is, this is simple, right? Just a lot of people don't do it. And that's why I wanted to bring this episode to you guys so bad, is because although it's simple, so many people don't actually do this. So let's break down the system. Well, first of all, guys, when you want to manage and run your business by the numbers, it starts with a daily report. And yes, I said daily, and some of you are probably freaking out right now, but the concept behind this, guys, the way I want you to think about this is what I call the 10-minute test, or the island test. All right? And what that looks like is, I want you to imagine for a second, put yourself in these shoes right now, that I was to put you in a remote island somewhere, right? You couldn't be in your office, you couldn't be in your shop, you couldn't be in your business, and all I could do is I could hand you one piece of paper with a select group of numbers on it, maybe 5 to 10 numbers on it. And from those 5 to 10 numbers, you had to make decisions and run your business. That's what I want you to think about. What would be on that sheet of paper, that daily report that you get, that would give you enough information to be able to strategize and pivot and make decisions for your business without actually being there or being able to communicate with a lot of people? You got this report, you saw the numbers, and you were able to send off what you think you need to do to make sure your business hits your goals. So that's kind of the mindset and framework that we're working from. And guys, the things that should be on that report is things that are activity based, right? So many people, when they're tracking things, that they're tracking sales and dollars and all these things. Well, guys, you got to focus on what we call the leading indicators. So what are the things that are actually driving those sales, right? It's the number of appointments that you run. It's the number of estimates you give to customers, right? It's the number of doors that you knock. Or when you're looking at collections, what are the things that make collections happen? Well, it's the number of jobs you complete. Maybe it's the number of final walkthroughs that you do with customers. It's the number of signed completion forms you get from customers. Everybody's process is going to vary, but I can guarantee you that there's activities and things that happen on a day-to-day basis in your business that make the other things happen, like sales and collections and work produced and all that kind of stuff. So you need to identify those things, and those are the type of things that need to be on that daily report. And now from there, it's got to be updated every day, right? And in an ideal scenario, when you came into work each and every single day, that report is sitting on your desk, and anybody who is a key decision maker or key party with key responsibilities in your business, right? So if you're a small organization, it may just be you and a few other people. But if you're a bigger organization, you might have sales managers, you might have production managers, you might have people head of accounting and collections, and all these different people that are key people that are responsible for direct functions of your business. So every morning, that report needs to be put together, and each of those key parties need to have it. And it needs to be obvious who owns what, right? If your sales manager is responsible for how many estimates they give out, or how many appointments they completed that day, then it needs to have that person's name next to it. All right? And what each one of you do is in the morning, you take a look at that report, you review it for 15 minutes, you highlight it, you notate it, you ask questions on it, and you guys get together in a daily huddle. And that daily huddle becomes the driver of everything that you're doing in the business on a day-to-day basis, right? So in that daily huddle, everybody reads their numbers and gives a brief summary of, what's working, what's not, and what their action plan is. Because that action plan is going to be those things, those pivots that we talk about that are going to help make sure the numbers stay on track. And those action plans are going to be what you guys hold each other accountable to each day when you meet in your daily huddles. So the first time you do this, obviously, you're going to be creating an action plan of what you're going to do. But in future meetings, when you have that, you're going to share your action plan, and then you're going to report on the status of the previous day's action plan, right? And it's building in some of that accountability as you guys have your daily huddles. And one of the key things as you do these daily huddles, guys, is what I like to call the facts, right? It's so easy to come to meetings and just say, this is why this number's off, right? And you have to be tough as a team of people running a business to say, you come to this meeting, you come to them with facts, you come to it with data, you come to it with support, right? This isn't about opinions. You're not coming to those meetings to say, just give your opinion. You want to come there with data and support that supports your action plans and why things are off. A good example of this, one time we were meeting with a sales manager, and we were looking at the estimate ratio of a sales team, which is basically, they went on X number of appointments, and this is how many customers actually got an estimate. And the response that was given to us when we were inquiring about why it's off track was, well, the guys are, they're running a lot of appointments that are, really complex jobs, and it's taking them a while to estimate. So, they're not able to get estimates out on the spot, and, it's just a lot of follow up and stuff like that going on. And, this was an opinion. This sales manager had seen a couple of those. So he made his mind up that his assumption was, we're running a bunch of complex stuff. Well, when we dug into it, guys, it really had nothing to do with that. That was a small component of it, but that was just him giving the first answer. And that's the kind of stuff you got to avoid, guys. Your managers and key people in the business need to come to this daily huddle with real information, with real facts, with real data, with real information that you can make decisions off of to pivot and make sure that things are going in the right direction. Now, another key, guys, is everybody has to own it, right? If somebody is responsible for a certain thing, they have to own it. It's not someone else's fault. At the end of the day, it boils down to them, and they need to be coming to that meeting prepared with that information, with those facts that we talked about, and with those action plans that you put together. Now, you're going to get people that, are going to, if you're not doing anything like this currently in your business, when you come to those meetings, you're going to have people that are, maybe feeling a little beat down or feeling this extra bit of accountability, and, it feels uncomfortable. But once you get over that hump, your managers start to own it. Now, if someone doesn't start to own it, usually that's a good indication that either, hey, they're not up to the task of what you guys are trying to accomplish. They might be in the wrong seat on the bus. But at the end of the day, everybody that's a part of this, that owns a function of the company, is going to be responsible for their department, their role, and they got to own those numbers that they talk about in the meeting. And guys, as a team, you got to support each other and rely on each other and help each other, right? You're not just there to report your function out and say, what you think on your aspect of the business. The reason we get together as a team is so that we can raise everybody up. They say the rising tide lifts all boats, right? So we work together as a team to help bring everybody up. And guys, one of the best ways to make all of this happen is that it needs to be systemized, right? So we talk about a lot of systems and a lot of the things that we cover. And having a daily review and looking at a dashboard every single day and getting together as a team needs to be a system in your business. It needs to become part of the culture, right? So what I like to do is I like to block that time off on my calendar. I block off time to review the report. I block off time for the daily huddle. And then I block off time at the end of the day to kind of review where I'm at so I'm prepared for the next day's meeting. And everyone that's a part of those meetings should have the same type of thing. And you should also document, how those numbers are reported, where they pull them from, what the system is, what time do they got to be input by, who are they actually input in from. So building a system around this makes it much more likely to happen, and it can be game changing for what you're trying to accomplish. And guys, doing this is 90% of the battle, right? If you just master this element of it, looking at a daily report of the key activities that you're trying to accomplish in your business, guys, just doing that alone can have a huge impact on your success as a business. And over time, guys, the way you expand this out is, you start looking at bigger periods at a time. So in the beginning, you're looking at just the daily numbers. And then eventually that evolves to, maybe on Fridays, you're looking at the full week. Maybe every second Friday, you're looking bi-weekly at a couple weeks. And then at the end of the month, you're looking at the month as a whole, or you're looking at weekly trends. And that's kind of how you take this simple system to the next level. So guys, I really hope you enjoyed this episode. If you want to learn more all about doing this and managing your business by the numbers, I highly encourage you to head over to leveledupcontractor.com right now and check out our CEO dashboard training and templates. And guys, we'll see you in the next episode.